Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For today's episode, I thought we could talk a little bit about how sin separates us from God. Now, where I live, today is Sunday, and for the reading at church today was about a man who had leprosy who went to Jesus and asked Jesus to heal him. And naturally, Jesus, being filled with compassion, heals the man. And I think what's so cool about this reading is that what the priest says after. He talks about how the leper had all this faith, and that's the reason why he got healed, that he believed, and thus he was healed. But not only that, the priest went into detail about how he thought that leprosy could be seen as a symbol, or it could be seen as something that represents sin. Now, when we talk about this, we talk about how leprosy in general is a sickness, right? And back then it was a sickness that was like the worst of the worst. It was like COVID-19 then. It was uncurable and you were isolated, you were separate, you were thrown out of the community, and you were forced to live by yourself. There was no cure and it was just the worst disease you could possibly get. In fact, it was so bad that you were considered unclean. Now, living separate, living alone, you have your own challenges, you have your own problems, right? But then the minute you actually want to come into the community, you are faced with humiliation because if you do enter the community, you have to shout things like, "Oh, I'm unclean," except like in their form, they would have to let other people know that they were unclean, that they had leprosy if they wanted to come into the community. So not only were they forced to be separate, but they were also had this like humiliation anytime they did come near. Similarly, sin can be represented as leprosy, as today I heard. And what the priest was saying was that whenever we sin, we are automatically separate from God because nothing that is bad, nothing that is evil, nothing that is remotely sinful is anywhere near God because God is so holy. And so the minute we sin, we are separate from God. Now, just like the leper, we are lucky because we have Jesus with us. The leper then had Jesus in his human form, right? So the leper went up to Jesus and was like, "Hey, can you please heal me?" Jesus healed him. Likewise, we have Jesus in our own lives and we can ask him for forgiveness. And in that way, that Jesus being the middle ground, we can get closer to God through Christ. Even though when we sin, we are separate, when we ask Jesus for forgiveness, we can come closer to Christ. We can come closer to God through Christ. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to comment down below what you think and be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Until next time, bye!